Welcome back, video heads. As we mentioned at the end of our last episode, we actually did split this part up into two, and so the episode with Israel here on Fatal Attraction and me and Tommy is now going to start here on part two. We are going to get to the rest of it for you.
Yeah, we had a lot to say. It's just that good of a film, and the original episode was going to be 4 hours and almost 45 minutes. We didn't want to torture anyone with this. We didn't want anyone to pee themselves trying to listen to the entire episode. So,
which you can still do, but frankly,
if you want to pee yourself, you pee yourself.
We kikied for
don't let me tell you what to do.
5 hours about on this, so enjoy. But yes, this is part two because we had to break this up a little bit.
Yeah, here we go, part two.
Yeah. So, Alex is resting in bed while Dan talks to his wife on the phone and tells his wife he loves her and stuff. And Alex, we sort of see, has heard this, obviously. She's laying in bed and has heard this and clearly would not like this as it was. But we don't really see much more. It's now morning, so clearly Dan stayed the night to care for Alex and to make sure she was fine. Yeah. He then goes home and musses up his own bed to look like he slept in it because he's a dirty, dirty slut.
Yeah, what he's having to do to create his lie is becoming more extensive. He preemptively calls his wife at Alex's apartment just to get ahead of her, wondering where he is.
Which again, in a pre-caller ID era, I guess great. But other than that,
but it's just now he's like actively lying as opposed to just like trying to catch up to what he was doing.
He's assuredly cleaning up a lot of Quincy shit and piss because again, he stayed the whole night and
And so in this part of the movie, I would love to get y'all's take on this. Are we on his side hoping that he covers everything? Like he has to mess up the bed, he has to eat stuff out of the refrigerator, he's doing all the things that I could relate to and go, okay, this is what I would do. Come on, Dan, you got this. Cover it all up. Everything will be fine.
Again, this is again why this is one of the many reasons why this is such a brilliant film is because the film sets it up to where Danny is the protagonist and the story unfolds with him, but I never felt like the film was rooting for him. I never felt like the film was just like, go Danny, go. Yes. Oh, let's see you scramble about your apartment, trying to
honey outside your marriage.
No. The director with interviews with the director, he said, the toughest part about this movie is how are you going to root for someone who cheats on his wife in the first 10-15 minutes? So that they know he's done something bad. Yeah. So now where do you go from here?
At this point, I was kind of rooting for him only because the wife seemed like a good person, and the child, his child seemed like a good person, and his family life seemed like a good thing, and so I'm rooting for him because I'm actually rooting for his family. I'm not rooting for him right now because I'm actually like I don't want him to destroy his family, and so I guess I'm rooting for him in that sense, But
you're like, you schmuck, like you're gonna fuck up your thing you've had going. You probably spent a long time crafting and building, and a whole weekend where you just tore weird blonde curly woman sex hair.
Because he takes the spaghetti out of the refrigerator, gives it to the dog, so his wife will think
he does give his adultery spaghetti to the dog. Delicious leftover crazy woman spaghetti. Lunch spaghetti.
To conceal the evidence. Basically.
But we see Dan working for a while too. He's clearly done what he needs to in the house. He's blown off his weekend work. Obviously, he hasn't done fuck all. It's why he stayed back was to work.
He basically recommits himself to his life with gusto. He's like, oh God, my life. Oh, it's so great to be in my life again without this crazy woman. I'm going to go to work early. I'm going to start working at 6 a.m. and I'm going to get there before my secretary. And then when my wife and child get back, I'm going to be so happy. And he genuinely is. And really holds her in with a degree of almost urgency that she notes that
real
what's a phenomenon. Again, she asks him, what happened to you? again asked him the exact same question.
Yeah, no, she said
one the second
Yeah.
time.
no. She says I should be gone more often.
Well, she says that afterwards when he explains like, "Oh, I'm just really happy to see you," and she's like, "Oh, well, I should go away more often then."
yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So
He is again asked for a rabbit, and again dashes a child's small dreams. They're just their tiny dreams.
well, not as much as he's kind of joking about it now. Like, yeah. They have a really
No more.
they have a funny moment where it's like, "Oh, he said the R word.
Oh,
what have
yeah.
you done?"
Rabbit,
It's adorable.
R word.
It's adorable. Well, not that one.
That one's gonna make it a comeback in 2025. I'm like, oh no.
Well,
Oh my God.
Jesus. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah,
Lordy.
he lightly dashes the child's dreams. I'll say,
but he's not like, "Oh, the place is turned into Noah's Ark. What the hell?"
Right.
He's now he's yeah. It's different. It's very
Well, yeah, because he has a little
also-
guilty conscience
Oh,
now.
yeah,
he does, and that's why he agrees to go see the house in the country.
Yeah.
As I viewed yesterday. If he can be back at the office by 1, he stipulates. But he's like, he's very much like, okay, let's make you guys happy. Let's do this. Like,
yeah.
I've had my thing, and so they see the house. He says he likes it. He kisses his wife, and he's back in the office where, oh my God, fucking Alex is waiting on
Yeah.
the couch. Like,
Yeah, like and just sitting there like she's been waiting for hours.
Okay,
Just-
so right before that, let me just say one tiny little thing. After when he recommends to go to the house,
Mm-hmm.
I also think that in his brain is, I need to distract them from just having it quiet at home because she might find something or hear something or see something and question it. I have to immediately distract her so she will be focused on that and forget about everything else. And then she says, "Oh my God," and it works. So I think that was another reason why he was so gung ho
I
about
can get
it.
that.
Yeah.
I saw it as him being like
True.
2 feet
Yeah.
in on, again, marriage and what she wants. Because she's been a buzz on Twitter about like, the new house, you should come see the new house. And he was like, oh, I have to work this weekend, I can't. And even on the phone calls he's had with her, she's like, oh, it's beautiful, you have to come see the new house. And so he's sort of recommitting himself. I think you used that verb
Yeah.
admirably, Tommy. And
Yeah.
he's ready to go do this and to be beholden to what she wants. And so... But, what the fuck? Alex is here in my office. And so he's like, oh, come into my office, crazy person.
Well, and also like you just said, like he was with his wife and beholden to what she wants, and now Alex is back and he is beholden to what she
Pulled
wants,
another way.
or at least now that's the implication.
Or there's
again.
something lingering. He thought it was over, and now it's lingering.
He's basically getting passed from one strong woman to the next, just again and again and again. And now Alex is back, and it's this whirlwind.
So this
You know.
is my personal favorite scene in the whole movie, because the moment she arrives, at first it's the receptionist at the front saying, "Oh, somebody's here to see you." So now in his head, and I don't know if it's just me because I've gone through all this before, but he immediately thinks, "Oh crap, the receptionist probably has questions about who this is and why you know her." And then as they're walking through the hallways, there's his friend. So now his friend is probably going to ask him afterwards. So that girl that you were walking to your office with, and then
The friend that saw Alex first.
Right.
friend that saw Alex
Didn't
first.
I know you or something? I don't know if it's a scene or whatever, but that definitely happens. So,
Yes. And then right before he goes in the door, a third person, which is Martha, or
His assistant.
his
the secretary.
assistant, is looking like, and all with her eyes looks at him and says, "What's going on? Who is this woman?" And he hates that all these people has seen Alex walk into his office. He hates that she's there. He does not want her there.
Worlds are colliding, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he closes the door. So this is such an amazing scene. But anyway, sorry.
No, I mean, it's very that. It's I don't know if I'd use the word humiliation, but it is something of like, it's exposure, I suppose I'd say. And so he's like, get to my office. And all these people essentially are seeing him. And he's like, kind of trying to put his hand up over his face type something, like cover up this up. But Alex apologizes for having put him through that the night before because, yes, you should. Frankly, you stabbed yourself strategically to keep me here. But she invites him, clearly not reading this rumor situation again correctly at all. She invites him to go to a showing of Matter Butterfly on a Thursday night, which, of course, he declines. He's like, I am a family man, and my wife is back, and my life is back, and this is a Thursday, and like, why would I do this? You're just an associate editor that like I banged a few times or something, and again, viewpoints are not aligning. It's not seeing this relationship from the same angle. We're getting Dan's perspective mainly as the protagonist, but it just is, from Alex, she looks crazy at this point. Again, it's very easy to write Alex off as a crazy person or as something like...
well, when she walks in, she goes in, and when you see all of her emotions are, I'm going to show him how okay I am, how not insane I am.
That's true. She's very calm in this.
Very calm.
She, again, as I call out, really only that one night at home with the wrist slitting and the whatever else where she really fucking loses it.
Yes.
She's very power play with him and calm otherwise. And so this is a very calm thing she's doing. She's like, I'm in here, your office. I'm sorry about that.
It was a one-time thing.
Tickets to the show if you'd like to go. It's very, yes.
Yeah, because he even asked her, hey, so how are you doing? And she doesn't say fine. She says, I'm fine. I'm really good. Like she wants to just pour this wonderfulness on him to where he forgets about that one crazy night. Like, she wants him to think that's not Alex. That was a crazy thing. This is the real Alex. That's what she wants him to think. And so when she's there and then, she asks him, the scene is my favorite because the way she says it, when you see like every frame in this, she's there, she sits down and she prepares him almost like, sit down, I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. And she says it so excited that he's going to say yes. I have 2 tickets to Madame Butterfly. Mm-hmm. And she thinks that's going to be the trigger for him to go, oh my God. And she's like, 2 weeks from Thursday, just as a peace offering. And then when he's like, I don't know, she's staying positive, and she's like, no strings attached, no strings attached. She knows that there are strings attached.
Well,
she knows.
She's the string. She's the string attached,
And the moment he says, I don't think it's a good idea, you can see it in her face where she's trying to stay composed and keep that smile, but the frown is overpowering the smile, and you can see it in her eyes, and it just breaks my heart when I see that, because I'm like, I have been where she is right now mentally, and it's terrible.
It's very true. You shouldn't send that one last message on a dating app. They ever reply to the last but you're like, but I really like this person. So you send one more, and this is humiliating for you, and you're like, and it gets further humiliating in her sense where she's like, okay, and she like stands up and like offers a handshake, but Dan, in a fantastically mixed message again, that he could have probably ended this right then and there, he pulls her in for a hug instead.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't fully cut this off. He doesn't head this off. This shows he's still a little bit in. He's not fully keeping her at arm's length, but kind of, quite literally. Like,
Yeah, because when he says no to her, there at that moment, that was the reason why she was there, is to check on him and then just invite him to this. Yeah. Once she has run out, her plan has run out of options because he said no. The moment after he says no, and he just sits there, she sits there, and you can see it in her head, like, what else can I say to stay in this room just one more minute? I just need to be around him one more minute. She's addicted to him now, and there's nothing to do. It's such a wonderful scene where she's just like, and you can see how she's taking her time with saying nothing by going, I guess I'm going to go. And at that moment she says that, he's like, yes. And he stands up, and then you're right. She does like a handshake. And I honestly think at that moment, he's not thinking of her. He's thinking, now she gets the hint that everything is going to go back to normal. So now I can actually try to leave it with a positive spin to where she doesn't think I'm a terrible person. Yep. And does a mixed message.
Yeah. And leaves a string attached, if nothing else.
Well, and again, just it real subtle, like the last thing she says to him is like, I'll see you around, okay? And he just says very, very softly, just like, okay. And again, you objectively, that you could read that 2 different ways. He's just kind of putting a period on that sentence, like, someone asks you a question, you just respond, sure. just it's kind of like a blue thumbs up on a Facebook message. It's just like that. Just what does that mean? It's the most minimal kind of acknowledgement. Maybe that's what he meant by it, but she probably heard, "We will see each other again."
There's hope. Yeah.
That door is open, just a crack, just a slither. And again, just. Again,
I think we've all been there. It's like they didn't say no. They didn't say for me to go to hell. They sent me a blue thumbs up, which means there's hope. There's 1% hope that they're going to see me.
I was on the phone with a friend for like hours, like a few months back, just pining for this guy and everything. It's like everything he told me was like, this guy does not want you, but he's just like hanging on. He's like, what about this interaction? What about this? What about that? And it's like.
But you
gotta see it, and Alex doesn't see it. You don't let yourself see it because
they know
you really fucking want it. You just Glenn Close is nearly 40 at the time of she's filming this, mind you, and so I don't know if she's said to have an age in the movie, it might be 36.
Yeah, the character mentions 36.
36.
Yeah, she's nearing the age of like potentially or feeling feelings of maybe I won't have a family or children or this or that, and so there's a lot of emotions that are about to come up from her, if not already. This why not me type stuff.
And again, this is where I just. Watching the film again, I just kept on wondering: is there a way of reading the film that redeems Alex for us? And I guess it would have to be just, being lonely and getting older. Man, that's scary. That's scary, and this is where this is an adult horror film. That is just pure non-supernatural adult terror right there. Of just
she's literally looking in the window at a happy family or a hearth or whatever.
Yeah,
she can't stand it. Like she screams and runs off because she wants it to be her. She wants something or like
she's and this is where it's just. This is where one can sympathize with even this character. She's a late 30s woman, unmarried, no children, successful at her career, but unsuccessful in love. It's kind of a classic tale. And
that's why still like in this part of the movie, that's why it is not a ridiculous movie because you can understand. He's making all the now that we're breaking it down, questionable actions and reactions to her, but she is not just insane. Mm-hmm. She has fallen in love and for whatever reason, and we're just wanting to know more about her.
She is not unintelligent.
Right.
She is a functioning adult. She's holding down a career in the big city. On paper, again, on an objective sense, everything makes sense. Mm-hmm. But again, she's not a monster. She's not a villain. But just can any person go from point A to this? And maybe that's the horror element of the film. Is that anyone could be that. Yeah. As crazy as it is, perhaps anyone could find themselves in that if they're desperate and terrified existentially enough,
That's what the film does well, is showing maybe just one step more into this crazy situation, or perhaps he'll love me now, or just the fact of, again, that they both are talking almost past each other at times, or they see this ending differently, and so the way they're talking, they don't necessarily connect fully on it type something, because I think if you do interpret, again, Alex is having a very successful career in life and this or that. She's gotten almost everything she wants. Now she's run up against something she can't have, and you can interpret it as almost childlike and tantrumish, or you can, because if you do this very slowly and step by step, you interpret it just in a sense of I've connected with this person, we've almost checked off all these boxes of early relationship, again, meal, date, meal, this or that, we're having a great time, we connect sexually and chemistry wise, I'm sure she could see a life with him, whereas he is never picturing a life with her. He's always thinking about his life and how after this weekend I got to go to the house and we're going to go do this and stuff, and I got to take my androgynous child to the doctor or whatever, or to get a terrible haircut again or something, just a haircut that is fully undefining to whatever gender it could be at this exact moment.
This is supposed to be a break from his marriage, whereas she sees it as him breaking from his marriage.
Right.
Yes.
Again, those are very similar words,
Different.
arranged in a very similar way, but boy, the meaning is very different.
Yes.
Yeah. So, let's see. At this point in the film, we have a number of moments now. Like we have a very creepy scene of her
Yes.
flicking a light on and off.
Sadly,
She is.
Which is a classic scene.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
it's very.
I've copied it
sad,
before.
flicking the light on
Yeah.
and off, feeling
Yeah.
very spurred like Madame Butterfly herself. Absolutely at this point.
But it's a beautiful representation of her. She exists in extremes. She is on or she is off. She is in light or she is in darkness.
Yeah.
She has something or she does not.
And I think
yeah.
when she was doing that, it's probably the evening that Madame Butterfly is playing, so the tickets are just
Yeah.
there, not
Yeah.
being used, while he's out
Maybe.
with
Yeah.
his friends bowling.
He is having a great
Yeah.
time bowling while this
Yeah.
is happening. It is
Yeah.
a fun juxtaposition of
Yeah.
like her just like being near suicidal.
Yeah,
frankly, from
she
her
keeps
position.
she finding herself in the position of Madame Butterfly, but she's divine masculine. She's not a helpless woman. She is a man in this sense, and she is fighting back against being told no or not being told yes. But yeah, like great scene. Very scary. Just her dead-eyed, looking 1,000-mile stare. Ooh.
Sad. Just sad.
Again, juxtaposed with Dan and a schmuck ass friend out bowling, just having a laugh. Like it's a funny,
Yeah.
very well done thing.
And also just in the scene before, she's at Danny's office and she is just totally exposed. Like his office is just filled with pictures of his wife, and there she is making a complete fool of herself, desperately trying to save face when that is absolutely impossible. And then he's with his friends, and he has the perfect life that she clearly very desperately wants for herself and with him, and she does not. She has nothing. And she's just sitting there in darkness.
Yeah,
like,
and we see
holy
that in
shit.
real life when somebody is asking for advice, like you said, your friend, where they're like, well, what do you think of this? And it's like, this person is not thinking about
Not
you.
yeah.
They're not thinking
Yeah.
about you at all. They
Yeah.
are out partying, and you're over here just whining about this person.
Yeah.
You know, the juxtaposition's always there.
Yeah. And I mean, and you can't force them to, as much as Alex tries through this. That's really one of the lessons of this movie is like, as much as your obsession may be there, you can't force these same feelings on somebody else. You can't cram them down their throat and or subsume yourself into their life. Be like, I'm just going to slip right in where your wife was or whatever.
Well, you can do all these things, but or you can certainly try
There are
to, and she
knives
does.
involved. Yeah,
She tries real hard at all these things. But we're now in a moment of the film when Danny is being haunted by Alex. She is
Correct.
calling.
Back in the office.
She's cold calling, calling the house. She is now starting to resurface, and in a way that is very menacing. But it's just her presence. This is
Well,
again,
she has something to tell him, so she has
Yes.
another reason
Yes.
to want to have to see him, and it's very urgent.
Yeah.
And she's calling just a bunch, and like we see him in the office when she's calling once, and he's just like, fucking tells the secretary to like, if she calls again, maybe just don't answer that or do whatever. But like, I also have in my notes here for some reason, he has an entire jar of sharpened pencils on his desk, like 19 fucking like extremely sharp pencils. Like, again, maybe this is pre-mechanical pencil life or whatever. Like we're smoking indoors. We have 19 sharp pencils on our desk. Like clearly in a 1987 lens, this is probably normal, but I'm like, this is like a little weapons. Like he's got a little.
This guy's a real pencil freak, isn't he? Jeez.
God help you.
Yeah.
He needs to write something. It's like 18 of his pencils break. He's like, don't worry, I've got another one here.
Yes.
One right here. Oh my god. Like,
I do. That's why I'm like, are they talking about me? And I have quite a few in my
how did this
office.
happen? Yeah, in the age of mechanical pencil, he's gonna
Just say what's on your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
drag her. But yeah, he tells the secretary like, hey, maybe don't fucking put her through if she calls again. And so we cut to Dan's wife. Again, I'll mention this in my notes here soon. I still don't think we've gotten her name at this point in the movie. We've got to be over an hour in, and we cut to Dan's wife. That's what I call her in my notes. Dan's wife in her underwear, brushing her hair, as Michael Douglas tells her how beautiful she is. But then the doorbell rings, and it's schmuck friend and his wife? Prostitute?
Wife.
Okay.
Wife.
There was one, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a question in one point about this. Like,
It's the cheaply dyed blonde hair, I think, that
I
really
think it
does
is wife.
it.
Yeah.
He makes a joke about ball and chain, and it's
Yeah.
like, straight guy humor in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure the wives love that.
And I think he's kissing all over his wife because he's now appreciating her because he finally got rid of Alex, so he's now appreciating what he has at home. Going, oh, look at how beautiful she is.
There's a moment that the two have where we see his wife in a sexual light for the first time in the film.
Yeah, she's in her underwear brushing her hair. That was the thing when he was behind her.
At the beginning of the film, she's just kind of in her pajamas and she looked like she just rolled out of bed. It's one of those moments where you're just at home with the family and your hair's down and you got your chanclas on and you got the clothes on from yesterday.
Ready,
you know,
the first time she was in her underwear and clothes, and that was when she had Ellen like put lipstick all over her face, and that was where she was like, "You silly girl," and I was like, "You silly what?" Like, and that was like 6 minutes into the movie where I was like, "What a cute little boy watching Nickelodeon or whatever."
And we see her in her nice, cocktail dress for the party that they attend when we first meet Alex. But then other than that, she's just in housewife clothes. It's just comfortable pastels and lightly colored clothing, just or denim blues, just not a sexy color palette at all. And this is the first time in the movie when she just is a sexual being, when she's just presented as a beautiful woman that Danny is enamored of.
She also, for better or worse, really doesn't have a lot of agency or characterization. Like, we don't get like a job she has or something else. Like, I'll talk about it at the end. She kind of represents something in the director and in some people's mind and how this all plays out and stuff. But we don't get a lot from her. Like, she really is not heavily characterized besides being like a choice. He has a choice. Dan does between Beth.
Sure.
Her name is Beth again.
Again, she's just a more low key person than Alex. It's not that she's boring. It's just Alex is so crazy that it's just compared to that. Of course, she seems simple, but I mean it's not true. It's just and again we start understanding just that is not true as the film progresses. Like
happy, I mean they're at a happy dinner party. They're so happy
because he's getting promoted, or they think he's getting promoted.
It's something like that. And then Michael Douglas and the schmuck do a racist samurai impression on a callback to the book. Which is so fun. Love that.
These goofy moments of
this is where
80s Japanese.
So at this point, I'm literally realizing I do not know the name of Beth. I think I pick it up from a subtitle, but I'm like. I'm manic at this point. I'm like, what is this woman's name? Like, you've not said this.
Honestly, I think I'm fascinated by this now. I kind of want to just watch it again for this because what a great element if they to deny her a name. You cannot make a person a background element faster than just not giving them a name. Yeah. And
she's in like a scene real early, and then they ship her off to go do the house things, and like she'll call back and be like, "Hey, honey, you're not fucking anybody, are you?" And that's her bit. Like, she doesn't have a name because it's like, he'll say, "Hey, honey," when he picks up the phone for me.
Yeah,
he doesn't say, "Hey, Beth." He doesn't say whatever. It is an interesting just bit there.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
But so Beth, I have in my notes here again, wife mom goes to pick up the phone when it rings as the dinner party continues, but whoever's on the other line doesn't say anything. We don't really get the heavy breathing and like I guess Scream or some of these other movies that happens, but nobody says anything. So Beth's like, hello, and we're obviously meant to assume this is Alex.
Yeah.
Of course.
Without ever being stated, of course. Yeah.
And again, like you were saying, how she has to always one up. They're having a great dinner, because they're just talking over each other and laughing and everything, showing how he's just moved on. Things are happening great at work. And then here comes the phone call to kind of do the wah kind of thing. Yeah. And it's like, and I think he notices, right, that she answers. I can't remember.
I honestly don't think he does. Yeah. He's telling a story. Like, he's living up.
He's letting it ring, hoping that no one picks it up, but then his wife does pick it up. And,
that could be true. But I know he's definitely. I don't think he's like he's not like actively like looking and worried at the thing, because I honestly don't think he even thinks that it will happen. I think he thinks he's put to bed several times. He really does think with Alex, it's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
But Alex never hits that moment, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so again, Alex never talks to Beth.
Yes.
Never says anything.
Never responds. And I mean, he is surprised here, because the next thing we see Michael Douglas in bed, and we don't really get, I have in my notes, but not Michael Douglas. And sad face. And then the phone rings again. And we don't get like a clock necessarily, but the phone rings on the nightstand, which again, just a hardwired phone on the nightstand, just another
Loud.
situation.
Yeah.
That ring is loud.
Man, yeah, that's true. Boy,
And
that's
so he picks it up and he's like, "Hey, it's fucking 2 a.m. Who is this?" Like,
Yeah.
And he's still aware enough though to pretend it is a business associate. He's like, "Hey, Richard, yes, those transactions."
Yeah.
I don't think I have the resources to answer that right now.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
yeah. So he's covering. He's trying to.
And we don't even see Beth stir or anything, but he's very much still in his like, I gotta. There's a little
She is
coverage
not
here.
going away.
Yeah.
But yes, he pretends it's a business mail associate and talking vaguely. I should also mention in this scene that Glenn Close's nipples feature extremely prominent. That white tank top was not doing its job, like its job, mind you. Like this was Rachel on Friends, like quality, like nips out situation. So
Yeah.
good for her.
Yeah.
But Alex convinces Dan to meet up the next morning at a train station, which again he could. He could say no, sort of. I think she does kind of. Does she leverage him at this point? Like,
Well, she keeps calling the office
Yeah.
and won't leave him alone.
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
why. He's probably like, I have to like put a stop to this or something. She doesn't like firmly like be like, I'll blackmail you or whatever.
Yeah, no, because he walks in the office and she says it's her again, and he's like, put her through to my phone in
Yeah,
my desk,
yeah.
and he's like, what? And then she's like, I have to see you. He's like, why? What for? Blah blah blah. Just meet me here
Yeah.
or something.
And so yeah, they do meet up the next morning at a train station, probably against his better judgment. But Alex both says she loves Dan, and then she tells him she's pregnant. And both of these things, obviously, to Dan are like, oh wow, I love that.
What terrible news!
Yeah.
Both times.
I hate that
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't take Plan B or something, or like,
Yeah.
you know-
Well, this is what when Tommy, everything that you're saying about they're not necessarily colliding. They have these two stories going on in their heads that are not
Yeah.
connecting, and this is the point where they voice those things, and he has to set it all straight and go, oh no. Why do you think we're in love? And then she keeps bringing up, well, we had the whole weekend together, and we had this going on. And he's like, but this is what it meant. She's like, this, but what about when this happened? He's like, yeah, it didn't mean shit. And she's like, but what do you mean? And he's like, no, blah blah blah. And then she's like, none of this is working. All right.
She's still pretty calm in the scene too, though, like because she talks about how like she's like, I'm gonna keep it regardless. He's like, oh my god, he hugs her at one point. He's like, honey, I'll pay for the abortion, and she's like pushes it back, and she's like, no way I said this. That was really going on here, and yeah, different wavelengths on that.
Oh yeah, because she, when he says all that, she's in her head. She's calm because she knows she's about to throw this torpedo at him. Because in her head, and this is what I'm thinking, just from my perspective, from previous relationships, when you really want somebody,
That's too much.
she's thinking, how can I keep him in my life? And then when she realizes that she's pregnant, then she's like, this is it. So now she's a little more calm.
It's a very interesting note if she is.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say she alleges that she's pregnant.
And she gives him a card of her quote OB, call and he'll tell you. And so that could be fucking anybody.
Well,
That could be-
and
right.
later he does, and he says that the OBGYN just said, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Again, that doesn't confirm anything.
No.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
It
We
does
don't
not
know.
in the
We
movie.
fundamentally don't know if she
Right.
is in fact pregnant.
But with her
Mind
mind,
and her leverage.
Yes.
Really playing it as if she is.
exactly. So then when she says that, yes, he cares because he's like, okay, well, I did make this mistake.
Well,
I did do this.
Very compassionate in the moment when his first response.
Yes,
yeah.
because he thinks, oh yeah, we're gonna get rid of it, and then that will end it,
Yeah.
and we can close
Well,
this door.
he both cares, but also he's probably thinking, I've been very careless, so yeah, this totally could have happened. It's totally plausible that, I knocked her up. I've been very careless about everything else, as I'm discovering. And so, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so
geez.
then when she says, "Oh no, I'm keeping it," and she sees his reaction, now she's like, "I have him again. I'm winning now." And then that's when she starts pouring onto him, hoping that he'll go, "You're right. Let me leave my wife and kid and everything and be with you and raise his child," because he doesn't know what else to do. So he gets mad, and she's like, "No, but." Especially when he says the line, "We're going to have to live with this forever." And she's like, "Doesn't that sound wonderful?" She's so into it. Like, let's make this happen.
Very much so. And it's one of the only bits that doesn't almost exactly map on to Madame Butterfly going out, because Madame Butterfly offers the child to say, you can raise this child with, your wife or yourself. I just want to see you like last time or talk or something. Alex, of course, does not make that offering. And so it's a much more difficult decision for Dan, who probably could, and nobly, the way he reacted, the child be like, I'll raise this child with my wife, or like, who knows? That would be complicated to get in itself.
But again, Alex refuses to be Madame Butterfly.
Alex would not do that,
she
wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's what's interesting here, too, is that, again, there are so many beats that map on. This one in particular does not, and it's a very telling thing with Alex in that regard.
But it's also a moment when it's starting to get it's beyond just she's edgy and alluring because of it. Now she's making threats, and like the last line of this scene is like, "You play fair with me, I'll play fair with you."
It's also interesting that Butterfly is 18 and she is 36. She's literally twice the age of Madame Butterfly. She, in this direct scene, says, "It might be my last chance to have a child." And so whether or not she's for real pregnant, she's certainly leveraging it as if she was. And Madame Butterfly could have given up a child and had many more children. This is a almost last-ditch situation, and it's being treated with the same urgency and direness as if it was the last-ditch situation for Alex, for better or worse here.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's always, maybe she really is acting with this kind of urgency, or is she being diabolical? And I guess the answer is both. Like it's always both. Like it's just there's kind of an earnestness to her desperation, but also this kind of she's playing games. She's playing dangerous games, and it's always at the same. It's always simultaneous, and so it's just why it's so complicated.
Because she's very calm and domineering in the presence when she has the attention of Dan, but she's melting down or plotting when she doesn't, essentially, and so it's a very interesting bit. We only see the mask slip the once in the movie. I noticed of her again with her letting like her extreme emotions out, or the actual like sort of lunge out, like you need to be with me type something, where everything else is like almost calculated. And so it's very interesting in that.
Yeah, she is in that sense discreet.
She is
careful in kind of a fucked up way. But she makes these surgical intrusions into his life that get more careless. So she starts slipping in this way. But let's see, where are we at the film? We're kind of midway.
Dan's alarmed. Right? He doesn't want the kid born. We next see Dan break into Alex's apartment. Which frankly, you mentioned the key thing. When he reaches for the key, it's not there, right? Does Alex basically has she removed it to be like, I think he's coming for me? Like,
no, I think he does grab it.
Yeah.
Because he fucking busts the door in on her. Like, it seems like he knocked, and she opens a little, and then he's like, bah, and he like kicks it in.
Oh, well, the second time.
Yeah, the second time. That's later.
Yeah, that's later.
Is this later? Okay, hang on.
No, this one, she's not there.
Okay, That's right. Dan breaks into Alex's apartment. That's right. Okay.
There are two
rifling through her things, including her bathroom and a Rolodex.
Yeah, there are two dramatic intrusions into Alex's apartment. Right. Yeah, the first time he sneaks in.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what he's looking for, really.
He's
needs something.
looking around. Like, we see him find a pregnancy test, for instance, which is unopened. So either she had two, or she's lying, or whatever. Whatever.
But there's one in her apartment.
But she has a pregnancy test,
and there were also basically what I gleaned were prenatal vitamins in her medicine cabinet.
Maybe because I saw something like zinc, something like
prenatal vitamins.
What it was, but then it's just supplements. Like I didn't know it was prenatal.
So again, there are clues that suggest that maybe she's telling the truth,
or
that she's just trying to get pregnant. Again, then it's not clear.
Okay, so I have to say this because we've said it multiple times. I don't want to be those guys that immediately think, oh, it would be too terrible if she was actually pregnant, so let's make excuses of how she cannot be pregnant.
Oh.
She probably faked the card. She created the card. She printed it out. She got her friend to be the OGB1. What if she's just actually pregnant?
No, that's
you know?
that's the thing. Again, two radically different interpretations that are both valid given what we're seeing. Like it's like she could be 100% pregnant, and yeah, but it's just
it's what we've seen to date that lends.
We don't know.
Theory,
Like yeah,
she's been
like
so crafty and manipulative to keep him where she wants him.
But she's also been painfully honest. It's both. Like at the same time.
So the way I see it is once he mentions it to his friend and he says, "Oh yeah, you know," and I called her doctor. And the guy's like, what did he say? He said, congratulations. I'm like, okay, well, that confirms it. To me, that confirmed it. Yes, it could be wrong, but to me, or she's pregnant.
Or an OBGYN has had panicked men calling throughout their career. And it's like, well, attaboy.
Yeah, well,
that is, doesn't indicate anything, but it's just like...
Have a fun weekend, dude.
Yeah. So, anyway.
So prenatal, there's another one, so maybe she had a second one.
But also finds a newspaper article about her father that actually died in exactly the way that she claimed was just a joke, and so
okay. I said she had an article about a professor that died young of a heart attack. So that
was her dad.
Well, again, his name is Stanley Forrest, but. Again,
if it was like a previous obsession she had, because I was not tracking that.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I saw a picture of her as a little girl and him.
No, it's just him.
It's just
so once again, there's something there. There's like, well, I guess this indicates what it should indicate, or. Notice it.
I'm very curious what it relates to, because it has to relate to something, and you might be right. It could just be the father.
So to me, I think what it means is her father really died, and it was a terrible thing. When he pulled that joke, she can easily manipulate and cut feelings off or turn them on, that she can make a joke about it just to beat him at that moment when it's really true, showing how manipulative she can be, where she can just put feelings aside when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah. When she's obsessed with somebody.
Well, and also it hurt her in a way that he could never have guessed at.
Very true.
And it's just, boy, that's a theme in the film.
Yeah.
That's how I for sure. It. Like she felt honest, real, actual pain, but he had no way of knowing that would have happened from what he did.
And so we see Dan and Schmuck friend discuss the legal issues. Alex is a child next. It comes back to that family law situation where essentially Schmuck is like, oh, well, you're kind of fucked. But then they talk about how Alex keeps calling the house, where he's clearly like, hey, this is a situation now. Like, this is not just like, I don't know, we'll probably put this out. We'll just stamp out on that fire.
And this is the first time we've actually seen him telling somebody that he knows closely and opening up to, hey, I did this terrible thing, and now this is happening.
So this scares Dan. He doesn't want to lose his family. We see Alex still trying to call Dan, but finding out his number's not connecting. He, at some point, has fully disconnected the number and was like, well, that's enough of that then. And she tells the operator, she's like, but wait, you said he changed his number. This is an emergency. Can you tell me his number? And the operator says, oh, I'm so sorry. I can't share that with you, whatever. And Alex goes, well, then fuck you, to the operator, who retorts, oh, my place or yours?
Hey, girl.
Which fucking tickled me pink, because I heard a little sassy I had to rewind and listen to it, and it was literally a guy that had probably been told to go fuck himself 1,000 times in his telemarketer life. So he just has this on tap. He's like, oh, my place or yours?
A phone operator in New York City. Yeah, he's been told that multiple times that day.
Not the first time he's been told to go
exactly.
Fuck
and I'm sure she does drag on amateur night every week. Yes.
And that man's name is Lady Bunny. Wait, what? Anyway.
That's Matt the waiter.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dan is so zoned out, he's walking, nearly gets hit by a car because he's clearly alone in his mind at this point. But as he arrives home, he finds Alex on the couch with his wife, just chatting away.
Yeah. Alex again,
And-
one-upping him and then some. It's like you break into my life, I'm gonna break into yours.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
let me show you something.
Well, no, not break into her. Well, I guess in a way, but he's
in a
trying
way.
to leave, and
Yeah.
she's like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm going to stay attached to you."
Here's what lends itself
Yeah.
further to my name conspiracy thing here. This scene, she fully introduces, she's like, this is Dan, this is Alex, and they are like, hello, we have names, and we introduce each other, and then Beth just sits there. And obviously Dan knows her, that's his fucking wife, and clearly they probably have met because he walks into them, but it's just like, she doesn't get a name, she doesn't fucking get a name, everybody introduces themselves in the scene, and like, Beth does not get a name in this situation. She's a tertiary background character. Again, she's almost like a consequence of what's happening in this game between Alex and Dan type.
She's the innocent. She's the innocent.
She's very much the innocent.
But also it's and now that you've brought this up, it's a great device that they use to make it put the focus more on Alex. It makes it difficult to concentrate on his wife because you don't know her name. And so
you're like, oh,
she's
poor
just
Beth. You're like, oh, poor wife. Like,
she's just still in the background, even at this point of the film. Like, just oof, yeah.
And his wife Beth also adds all of that tension because you don't want her to have her heart broken.
Yeah,
you want to take care of her, and here's the cause of it, which adds so much suspense and tension, especially in this scene.
Yeah.
The person that could shatter it all is like right there with the porcelain doll or whatever.
Yeah, and now playing games. Now she's playing games and she's loving it.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
loving it.
Yeah, but again, Alex could shatter, but also Danny could and has perhaps already done that. Like Alex is clearly a menace, but so is Danny. Like, he's a menace to his own family. Like, he doesn't know how to handle this situation because he invited this in. Like, he doesn't know what to do. Like, what does he do? Like,
Well, up until now, outside of the cheating part, he's making all the right decisions. Like, and even the when they had the coffee, and he said, she said, "Are you discreet? I'm discreet," and he said, "Yes," and she says, "I am too." That was sort of their agreement. And then once it was over, he's done everything to get rid of her. It's her that keeps coming back. So in a way, he's making good decisions now by what he's telling her. Mm-hmm. Maybe not physical things like when he hugs her and stuff, but he's pretty much telling her, "Go the hell away. I want nothing to do with you," over and over again.
Well, pretty much, but he is not actually saying that, and that's the problem. Like,
pretends not to know her.
I guess he's kind of, but
Alex is insistent. Like, Dan's like, "I don't know you," and Alex is like, "No, we've met at the party. Like, we know each other."
Yeah.
Like, she's very.
She's being coy. She's playing games.
She's loving it.
And then when she extends her hand to shake her exposed, slit, like scarred up wrists, again, playing some dangerous games because just begging someone to ask about what happened.
Yeah, and then of course to seal the deal, the wife says, "Yeah, we're moving." So now she knows that they're moving.
She's unintentionally divulged lots of information to this threat.
Inquiring about the house and like buying the condo or apartment.
Yeah,
that's why she went.
Because the wife said Alex told her she's having a baby, and it's like, oh my god, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, playing dangerous games here.
Yeah, so she goes over there pretending like she's gonna buy it.
Dan's stomach drops into his toes in this scene, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she says, "I really like it. Yes, I really like it." Blah blah blah. And then of course the wife says, "Well, we're moving. Let us give you our new number." And so he's like, "Oh Jesus."
Yeah.
And so Dan at this point is like, "Well, let's put a stop to that." And so he comes to Alex's place demanding to talk, which rightfully so.
Yeah.
This is crazy town banana pants territory. What Alex has done. And the incredible speed and breadth in which she's done it with. Alex says she just wants to be part of Dan's life, but Dan says she doesn't get it and is very much not having the physical advances that Alex is making because she's just still trying to be like, "But Dan, remember you love me," and stuff.
Yes.
And
So
it's like,
Another great moment moment, or like another like just awesome line, like when she is confronted with all this, she says, "Well, Dan, I will not be ignored." Just in a way.
You want me to just be? No, I'm not going to be ignored.
I
you can't just move on.
I can't do justice to the way that she inflects it, but it's both an accusation and how foolish. How foolish of you to think this. Well, of course I'm not going to be ignored.
Well, the cool thing about this scene is just the very beginning, because he walks over there, which she wanted. She's like, I'm going to go to his place. I'm going to scare the hell out of him. And now he's going to come to me. And guess what? He does. And she's expecting him, because the moment she opens it, she has a little smile and she has her little sexy nightie on. She's like, oh, we're totally going to bang tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to fight and then we're going to bang. And she opens it. And then, he walks in and she's loving it. Oh, would you like some wine? Would you like to drink? She thinks it's going to be a date. And then he cuts through it by going, cut the shit. And then it scares her and she turns around and then she's like, oh, he wants to play this. Okay, well, let's go for it.
And she says, again, when this tone changes from like, oh, fuck me, to like, oh, we're fighting, Alex says something mildly alarming, which says, go ahead and hit me. If you can't fuck me, why don't you just hit me? While Dan calls her sad and sick. And it's like, oh my God, this poor woman, like, when we're to sort of infer there's past abuse or something going on in her, like, characterization of life or whatever, it's like, that's a fucked up thing to say. Like, use me however you want, daddy or master, whatever, like, sub kink or something is, but she just, like, because she says, like, I just want to be part of your life at certain points, and when she says, here, like, just hit me, like, it's a very depraved and addictive situation, I guess, that like
their relationship is based on pure passion, and that can be sex, that could be violence, whatever, pure passion. And so either way, if that's happening, then she has him.
And now, I see her as she's addicted to him. She needs him around, and the more he fights with her, that is him showing emotion to her. So she loves that, even if they're laughing or if he's yelling at her, that shows some type of passion and anger that she is causing. Anything that she just needs reaction from him. That's what she's addicted to, and that's what she's getting. So in that conversation where she says, well, you know what, you just think you can just bang me a couple of times and then leave? I'm not going to be ignored, Dan, which is classic line.
Yeah. She needs acknowledgement.
Yeah.
She and we could talk about this in a film. She basically has borderline personality syndrome. It's just, we can go down the checklist of symptoms. She has borderline personality syndrome, and like the biggest one is just a terror of being abandoned.
It's interesting to think about lens, because in 1987, Glenn Close says in interviews like more recent, she's like, if I had to play this part again, I would do it from a different perspective, because clearly there's mental illness in play. Whereas in 1987 at the time, it wasn't that. It was not framed that way. And this was the time where like DID and schizophrenia were conflated, or all these things were very not well understood. And like, I mean, we're not far from 1987 from lobotomies to be like, this woman's acting weird or something.
The film does not psychologize anything about her. It just allows her to exist in philosophy as opposed to in psychology, right? She's not a mental case. She is a woman on the edge. And that's a big difference, and again, that's just, I think that's just another great reason that the film is why it's so brilliant, is that it just puts all this in the frame, and it doesn't,
and has you discuss
it doesn't apply its own theory,
correct?
Not in a really heavy-handed way. It doesn't.
World. So. There's definitely manic in there. There's bipolar. We talk about how calm and assured and powerful and confident she is versus how not in the other type stuff. And I mean, like, borderline is very similar, because I had a friend with his wife had borderline personality disorder, and she would wake him up and be like, I took like 40 pills. And he's like, oh my God. And you're like,
Just it exists in one extreme or the other, either in just total wild-eyed passion or just almost catatonia. Yeah, exactly. So.
And this is the first time in this scene where we see him go after her physically for the very first time because he calls her after they have this conversation. She says, "I'm not going to be ignored." He calls her pathetic, and she says, "Don't."
Sad and sick,
Yeah, and then she says, "Don't." She says, "All I want is respect," and he says, "Respect," and then he starts walking away. So at that moment, she's thinking, no, he's leaving. I have nothing else to say. He's going to leave and he's never going to come back. So yeah.
Just to, because I wrote this down, I thought these were really good quotes right at the same time. She's saying, Alex retorts, "Why am I sad and sick?" And she basically says she's not a slut he can bang a couple of times and throw in the garbage. And then she reaffirms she's going to have the child and that she just wants respect. And that she's essentially just leveraging the fuck out of this power she has over Dan at this time. But she very much, it was, like, I'm not a slut. Or, like, I'm not somebody you can just throw away or whatever, like something in this. And Dan is trying to, he keeps trying to make a fucking clean break here and he just can't. And he has fully intertwined himself in something that is just like, he did not expect this. He did not think this was going to happen with it.
Yeah, because he was pretty much going in there going, "Do not ever come over again and be there with my wife. No way." And so when she says respect, oh my God, it like pisses him off. Like, really? It disgusts him.
Yeah.
Well, it's a moment when it becomes clear that she's lying. It's a moment when you no longer don't have any real doubt, like all these other moments about, well, is she actually pregnant? I don't know. It could be plausible. It could be really plausible. Her claiming that she wants respect. No. And it's a pivotal moment. It's a time when he is reasserting herself and she is kind of crumbling.
Yeah, and at that moment,
he's still calmly doing this. I noted this again. Like when she's in his fucking presence, she has his attention. She has his fucking glow, bask, whatever. She's still mostly always under control here. Like she doesn't seem to want to show Dan her craziest parts still, aside from that one slip again, despite using lots of them to be this stalking, overbearing presence in his life currently. She's still doing this almost in the margins where she's trying to show her best face to Dan still.
And arguably she wants to be feared and not respected. It's
or anything to keep him there, even if it is fear, to keep him there. So the moment she says that word respect and he tries to walk away, she's like, okay, I've run out of. He has to stay here longer and he's leaving. So she's like, crap, what do I do? And that's when she says, "I'll tell your wife." And that sets him off. Bam! Grabs her by the neck, throws her against the wall, and he says, "You tell my wife, I'll kill you." And then and lets her go, and she kind of stumbles, and then she says, "It only takes a phone call." She goes, calls, which I don't know if you noticed, but she just got their new number earlier that day, and she already has it memorized. Because she grabs the phone, she just goes bam, 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 and she calls. She already has it memorized immediately.
God, the olden days were wild. I just have so many people's phones memorized.
Me too. And then, of course, Beth answers, and then she tosses the phone. But that's the first time we see Michael Douglas actually grab her and makes a threat. So now she has a new trigger in her mind. That triggered him. Let's do more of that.
Yeah. Well,
slams her up against the wall by her throat, saying if she tells his wife, he'll kill her. And so it's again, when you talk about just passion, if you just want passion, well, you got it out of him. You sure did there.
But it's also, again, she doesn't tell his wife. She's playing a dangerous game. And she again, she doesn't want to be respected. She wants him.
Because why doesn't she?
It's over if she does that.
Exactly. I was gonna say, why doesn't she tell his wife? Because then it's over, because the wife knows. That's her ammo. Her ammunition is that's the control that she has over him. I could tell her at any time.
And it's also just the tension. It's just she has to replace this woman, but that ends it. That ends it. And so it's just what a conflict.
She just throws the phone across the room and is like, fuck, actually I can't do this because that would, it's mutually assured destruction type stuff.
She would lose.
So Dan, probably in some fit of guilt and trying to make up for things, has bought a rabbit now for his daughter with the unfortunate haircut.
Yes.
Fulfilling all of her tiny little rabbit dreams. Finally, you two can have a spherically shitting pet that a lot of weird habits and can chew up all our wires in the house or whatever. Thanks for that. But we get a cool shot of the elevator rising, and it's sort of being framed in the red light as like Dan sort of raises floor after floor, and we see there's nothing for like multiple floors or for several shots, but then we get one of Alex just like in the background, like watching him sort of up there and creeping in a parking lot in a trench coat type thing. And this is when he's like headed into the house with the rabbit and type something, and he hears a car alarm go off, and he's like, fuck, that's my car alarm, I guess. And so he goes back. And oh my God, someone has acided my whole car. Like
honestly, I wasn't sure what happened to the car. I didn't know if like the radiator was sabotaged or
like acid to me. It looked like
to me too.
Because just like people like throw acid in models' faces or in various things. Well, it just like fucks up everything. But then everything he says, he's like, it's electrical or something, and I'm like, what are you fucking talking about?
Well,
it's like acid.
It looked like the radiator, and I assumed it was radiator because again, it's more disturbed water.
Melting.
When Alex is present, water goes crazy.
Yeah, I think it was acid, but I don't know. But
it has to be. I think we're melting.
But this is one of those scenes where here comes the silhouettes again because there's nothing going on, and so something's about to happen. So he comes in. The guy who normally gets his car is not in his seat, so he gets his own keys, starts going up the elevator, and if you notice, it's all silhouettes, dark shadows, and red light. That's all it is.
The lighting.
I have that.
It's the same lighting at night at Alex's apartment. That's the exact same lighting color palette. It's those dark shadowy blacks, it's evening oranges and reds and silhouettes. We get a little whiff of Alec, like her presence is being manifested.
It wasn't noted by him because he didn't see it, but she was there.
Her color palette and her disturbance of water has manifested.
And she's wearing like a shenanigans trench coat, like I'm up to no good trench coat, which is also funny.
Yeah.
Like sneaking in a parking lot in her French there.
Yeah.
Very fetching.
Serving face. Yeah, she was totally serving face. She's on. Yeah. But he goes and looks, and of course he has to tell everyone that it's an electrical thing because if he says, "Oh, somebody threw acid on my car," of course they're gonna ask more questions. Who would do that? And then it's a mystery and call the police. He has to do something to where it's just like cut and dry and nobody asks questions. Yeah.
Let's see. So
someone threw Michael Douglas acid on my car.
Let's see. I think at this point,
it's a cassette thing. So like,
that's right.
She leaves.
He gets
Alex following Dan, and also have a cassette tape in his car.
Yeah.
I think he picked up from like a doorman or for something.
It was delivered to his office. It was delivered to his office.
They give it to him before he goes to get his car.
She ups her pussy in her stalking game here.
And we see at the beginning of the film, he's like listening to a tape in headphones, so it makes sense that it's like, a work tape. I got to take notes. You know, so but surprise.
Right. Well, it says like play me Alex, and so he very much makes a choice. Again, he could almost disengage again, but he pushes it in and he engages in the situation. Again, probably not completely wrong at this point. She's shown herself to like be near your family, so it's like maybe you should hear her out, maybe like something on this. But
well, again,
it's a very breathy monologue about loving Dan and wanting him inside her and bemoaning this is what she's reduced her to and stuff. And wanting Dan to acknowledge his responsibilities.
Good.
And at the same time, she's following him because she doesn't know where he lives yet.
Oh no, not the new one.
Yeah, so she's there.
Good point.
Because
with him too.
So she knows that he has to linger, get a new car, and then leave so she can follow. And at the same time, I'm thinking in my head, she's watching him listening to the tape, and how much have we wanted to play a song to somebody, a breakup song, where we want to be there watching them listening to it, even though they're never going to listen to it. And if they listen to that song, they're never going to think of you when they're, but in your head, that's your fantasy of, I just want them to cry and feel bad. And she gets the opportunity of following him and listening to her on that tape, which I think is just beautiful.
Well, I mean, she's not.
She's in her car.
She can only guess that maybe he's listening to the tape, but the audience gets this really intriguing juxtaposition of her presence in the car with him, but then her following voiceless behind him. It's again just this odd like disembodiment of her. It's just very
Agreed.
poetic.
And
yeah.
it's like she's head type stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a very telling statement in her own mind about what she's thinking about Dan when she says he needs to acknowledge his responsibilities, for instance. And she goes on to say he upended her life and won't get away with waltzing out of it. But like, frankly, in Dan's story and mine, it's the exact opposite. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you upended my life. Like,
yeah. Well, again, it's like, are both true? Are they both true simultaneously? Is her perspective on this just as real and valid? And sure, yeah. Yeah.
She is not done yet with this tape.
Yeah. No.
Oh, no.
No, she yeah,
Alex goes on to say she hates Dan and accuses him of being gay and not even liking women, even calling him a flaming fucking faggot.
Yeah.
Which is the line for Dan as he's done with that tape. He busts the tape out and he's like, you know what? That's enough of that tape for me. Like,
well, it's there are two things happening. One, she's getting real petty and spiteful. It's just like, oh, you don't even like girls, huh? Yeah, I bet you're gay. You must be gay if you don't like me. That's because you're gay. It's
which is a pervasive attitude. Sabrina Carpenter has a fucking toxic song out right now where she's like, I'm so hot. If you don't like me, you're probably gay. Whatever. I'm like, all right, Sabrina, let's calm down.
Calm
Good
down.
Lord.
Calm.
Yeah. But at the same time, once he pops out the tape and he gets out of his car, the camera does a little rack focus, and there she is right there at the end of the hall, at the end of the driveway. Now she knows exactly where he lives.
But the other thing I was going to say with like there are two things on that tape. One, maybe he is gay, and again, kind of like a divine masculine way. He's clearly attracted to the strong woman who's like a man in every way in terms of like her again choice of verbiage, how she responds, how aggressive she is. And so again, it's like it's false, but I don't know, maybe there's something to it in this odd figurative way. It's just again everything that she says, it's like you kind of wonder if it's actually true. It seems like it could be true, and there's all this in the narrative of it to suggest that it could be true. And like, once again, it's just like this like is right on the edge. It's like,
well,
it seems
I think he's
wild,
just,
but maybe
I think he's passive for sure.
Well, again, I think that's
so maybe that's what she meant.
Well, but
she was just mad about it.
Yeah, and I think that's what the film means in how they're again exploring again, like gender, all these notions of gender, like, like male versus female, active versus passive, and how they're kind of spun around a bit,
And the second thing you said,
that was the second thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was second. Without the second thing.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the second thing? Yeah. Gotcha.
So.
It's interesting though, because Dan pops out the tape, and like, frankly, it implies, and we do get to hear more later, but at this point, I wasn't sure that there's even more rambling to be had, and I was debating, or I was theorizing on what else did it evolve into, what depths of hate did she reach just recording this whole cassette tape microphone setup, just like. It's like she was definitely like really hitting a fever pitch there when she's calling him like slurs and things, and like.
Well, it's just how someone works himself up into a frenzy. Just when it's just they're just there with their crazy.
Yeah, by themselves.
It's true.
Yeah,
I've called my congressperson before and been like, I've called Ted Cruz and been like, I'm calmly explaining an issue, and by the end I'm just like screaming at him, he's a piece of shit, and I'm like, this. First of all, deserved, but second, how did I get here? Like, what am I doing? Like, so like, it's very that of a...
Yeah, understandable.
I'm like, gay, Ted, like...
Oh, let's hope not. Let's hope not.
No.
Please be straight.
The straights can keep them.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
they can keep them. Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes.
So
Fatal Attraction.
So Alex, at this point, like, she's trailing Dan in his car. Dan pops the tape out, but he goes back into his family. He's like, that's enough, Alex. And he goes inside, hands the rabbit to his child, who's like, oh my god, I androgynously love this. And like, it's in front of a hearth. Like, it's a beautiful fire, and the wife is there. They're all like hugging. They're like, I love being in a family so much. And Alex is outside being like, ooh.
And she goes and she runs off behind a bush and throws up.
Yeah.
Dry heaves.
Again,
runs away crying.
And again,
See this,
she throws up, but we don't. Is it because she's pregnant or because of the revulsion and desperation she sees?
She's never seen him loving his family,
and it's just
she hates it.
That moment, it's like it's at night. The light is warm, and it's just a perfect family scene. And it's almost it's like holy water on her almost.
Yeah.
And it's probably this is where if she has become a villain, it might be at this point. She's repulsed by goodness almost. Like she's
goodness that she's not a part of.
It's something she's not.
Family. And wholesomeness, and it's not hers. And again, kind of like at the beginning, like where we're talking about watching people get slimed on the other side of a glass screen. Here she is. She's like watching a TV, and she can't have it.
But also coming from the perspective of somebody that this person couldn't get happiness from, seeing them getting it from somebody else upsets you, because it's almost like breaking up with someone that they broke up with you, and then you see them and they're out having dinner and laughing, and you're like, I could make you laugh like that. Why could I not make you? Because that person's bringing something out of them that you could not, and it brings up this like gross emotion.
It's a very interesting thought. I mean, that's what the Madame Butterfly doll is, an interesting like sort of thing to map onto it, because it's like, I made you happy for a while. Why couldn't I continue to make you happy? And the other person's like, oh, well, I was just, moving on to the next phase of my life, or going back to my life, or doing whatever else. But it's like it's abandonment, and it's love, and it's all these passion, all these things mixed in and stuff.
Yeah. But it's also anger. Beth is supposed to be Madame Butterfly, not her. She's supposed to kill herself, and Danny's supposed to go away with her. And it's just, this keeps not happening. And it's becoming solidly the other way. And the more solidly that is becoming, the crazier and more violent she's getting. Like, her fantasy is just unraveling, and it's becoming impossible to suspend disbelief. Like, it's just, the reality is just really setting in hard.
And it's
the light at the end of the tunnel, or the life with Dan that she could see so clearly before, perhaps.
It's
and at this moment, she's lost. There is nowhere else to go. She sent the cassette tape because he no longer wants to see her. They've thought she can't call the wife and give it, and so and she threw acid on his car. She's gone over there. She sees that he's happy, so she's kind of lost. She doesn't know what else to do. The only thing she has now is, well, I know where he lives, but now what am I going to do? So she doesn't know what to do next.
What she does now, lash out in in probably the most famous way that this film has to offer. That poor rabbit.
No. We're gonna go back first because we can't skip this. So Dan goes back to listen to that fucking tape again.
That's
He puts his little cute headphones on again.
Yes.
We're like in some sort of masochistic need to hear what comes after, I guess.
He is continuously intrigued by how much she wants him, and he can't let it go. And it's fundamentally, it's his fatal flaw. He keeps.
But it also might be insight to. I mean, it might be knowledge that he needs to know. Like, oh my gosh, she's nuts.
Because she's now an active threat. Like, she's now very.
I would listen to it.
Yeah.
I would listen to it just to know.
It's passionate enough to make me a fucking tape, and like these things were going, sure.
Yeah.
But it talks about how, I mean, so he starts to tape back in the middle, like, and just stuff we've heard before, like quotes where she was saying what we listened to in the car. But funny enough, they do not have the hard F homophobic slur drop again, where they're probably like, I don't know if we can afford 2 faggots in this movie or whatever. They do have, like, the homophobic insinuations come. They had a line or two of that, and then they fully skip that one, and they move on to the next bit where they have their... She talks about how, he probably doesn't like girls, blah, blah, blah. Moving into another bit of dialogue about how Dan sucks and she hates him and stuff. But I was like, that's just curious. Like, even then when I was like, I want to be a little homophobic, but like, that's too homophobic.
Yeah.
1987, they're like, I can't have 2 faggots in my movie.
Well, and Danny, he's maybe a little narcissistic, and this is where we kind of see it. He's intrigued by this tape. It's not just he's not listening to it just out of fear. He's intrigued. Like I really think that just even to the very end, he's really intrigued by how much this woman wants him. It's like just and it's kind of perverse and it's real toxic, and like he shouldn't keep inviting her into his headspace, at all. But he keeps doing it. Like he's intrigued, and that's why he's listening to the tape again. Like he has his headphones on, like in the beginning scene, to block his family out. Once again, he's blocking his family out so he can concentrate on something else. So he's
I don't know if I would use the word intrigued, but
And Mac touches him off and shocks him out of it. His wife touches him while he's listening to Alex. And like, oh, fuck, like, I'm doing a thing again.
Yeah. Startled by the presence of his wife. Again, he's just really into Alex in dark ways.
Well, but he thought there for a minute, I'm sure he thought she was going to come out of the cassette and like attack him.
Yeah.
Because it's getting to killer mode.
Yeah.
Like this is where the horror begins.
Yeah.
There's suspense. There's real like threats here and horror elements where he's jumping. And I'm sure at that moment in the theater when people were watching it, everyone screamed, because it's turning into a horror movie, which I'm loving.
Yeah. No, I mean, like she sabotaged his car. Like it's like now we're to the property damage phase of this.
It's getting to where she's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, she has presented danger in material space. Like it's not theoretical. She has sabotaged his car now. Yeah. But it gets better.
He's done with that. Yeah, I mean, touches his arm. He's like, oh my god, I'll deal with that later, whatever. But like,
she wants to give him a massage.
He sort of explores his legal options with the policeman, this wildly unhelpful policeman who we see in two separate scenes. But in this first scene, he lays out all these things that have happened so far, and the policeman kind of like shrugs at him and is like, I don't know what you want me to do about this. And he's like, oh, what? Like, what do you mean?
Again, Danny doesn't practice law. He just advises on it, and now when he's confronted with the need to apply it, he doesn't know what the hell to do at all.
The police officer's like, you literally have to catch her in doing something crazy, and he's like, that sounds crazy, and he's like, I know.
It's like, well, that's the law for you, Mr. Lawyer.
That is the law.
Maybe you should have been practicing it.
Yeah, but it also makes you think that everything that has happened up until now is not necessarily illegal. Like. Everything is fine, so the cop is kind of right.
It's true. No bunny's been boiled, no lock's been broken yet, or something.
Well, I mean, there's car sabotage. So
the worst he's done is just call his office and house and certain things, like
right.
Point.
But it's not like he'd be able to prove that it was her, and so it happened to his car. But he doesn't have proof of it.
But if anyone's done anything illegal, it's him breaking into her house.
No, exactly. If there's anyone,
that's true. That's very true.
Again,
so that's why he can't bring that up.
Yeah, if there's anyone who's not being discreet, if there's anyone who's not following the law, if there's anyone who doesn't appear to even know what the law is, it's Danny. If there's anyone who's jeopardizing a family, it's Danny.
What makes her more clever than him. And that's what makes her even scarier because she knows what she's doing. She's smart. She's smarter than him.
She's better. Yeah, she's better. Everything that he can do, she can do better.
Yeah.
But in a way that's dark and fucked up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we then see the family back at home. Honestly, this is a scene I was kind of confused about. I'm not sure what the purpose of the scene is, but I'm kind of struck again by how much this girl looks like the berries and cream lad in the scene. She has a little neck piece and outfit. It's blue again. Like this all. I don't think we talked about it. We might, but like at various points, this child has been dressed extremely tomboyish, baggy, or just like masculine clothing type something. Again, there's nothing transphobic in my heart about the way I talk about this girl or whatever. It's just a very androgynous child in that way, and both haircut, dress, like how this is happening, how it's presented, her interests, like there's not really any focus on it at all. There's hardly any like time for this child in the movie, but it's almost just it's just striking in a way.
The child is gender ambiguous, and for being a daughter, there's no pink anywhere near her. She's not pink coated.
Never. She's blue in this scene.
Yeah, if anything, blue is her color, not pink. Like it's, and I think that the daughter is a symbolic device. The daughter introduces the idea of gender ambiguity. just kind of in a like a literal kind of simple way of that. Oh, it's kind of a tomboy, got a tomboy haircut and is wearing blue and doesn't play with dolls.
And
really,
what's the scene?
Well, they're coaching her to like propose to somebody.
Oh yeah. It's a school play.
Yeah.
It's a school play, and she's playing a pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes more sense because I was like, is she proposing to a family friend or using a child as her proposal proxy? That's what I put down.
Yeah, and I took that scene as, once again, all of this madness has happened, that the moment he is back in normal mode with his family, he really is appreciating even more of what he has. Like, he's regretting what he did because he's like, oh, look at all of this. Why did I ever go to do that?
Right.
Look at how wonderful this is. She's practicing for a play and she did a good job here. He just wants to give her a big hug and he's just like regretting what he did.
But again, also in a way, again, like, what a great film. There are so many of these little touches in all of these scenes where it just seems kind of like a random element, but it's coherent and it actually fits the kind of design pattern or whatnot. And even a moment where they're just practicing for a school play, she's being rehearsed on how to propose. She's being taught gender. And again, it's like she's the most gender ambiguous character in the film, and here's a scene of her being.
She did say something.
Taught gender. It's like
proposing to him or to her, or like to something else, like
to suggest, there's nothing automatic about gender. This is just it's learned and it's ambiguous. It just.
And when you think about it, if you took those two scenes out, where he's appreciating her when she's getting ready, his wife, and then the little girl that when she's practicing for the play, if they didn't have that, his mind would be 100% focused on Alex, that he would be ignoring his family. These show that he does enjoy being with his family and is regretting it. You need these scenes to reestablish his love and his wish of, I want nothing ever evil to happen to my family. That's the last thing I want. I love my family. I love my life.
And his family, that life is still going on even when he's constantly being pulled away by Alex. And it just highlights that again what's at stake. And it's
exactly
this life that's still going on. It's still happening even though all this other crazy shit's going on, and it just kind of highlights the urgency and the danger too.
We as the audience need to see that.
So Dan and Ellen are outside after returning home while Beth comes home alone. They're kind of just playing outside, and this is where Beth finds a pot boiling on the stove that she does not quite recognize.
Yes.
And it's like, weird, someone is cooking in my house when we were gone or whatever. And at the same time, little Ellen runs up and is like, my rabbit friend, I hope my rabbit friend is ready to play.
Oh, God.
Poor Beth approaching the pond. Opens it up. It's the rabbit. It's poor little rabbit. This was the hard fought rabbit. We had to convince Dad to get us here, and then
if you ever heard someone described as a bunny boiler, well, now you know why.
Or a bunny boiler in the making.
Very popular UK term from Stalker X based on this movie.
I have used it. I have used it since the 80s. I have used it. I'm like, that is a T-shirt in the making.
Blind spot movie. Maybe I heard and I didn't attribute it to this particular movie.
And I also have a T-shirt that has a bunny on it, and it says "boiler" under.
Oh, no.
So the cool people would get it. Now y'all are cool because y'all will get it.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say about this scene is, once again, in the directing, and just like right before he found his car with the acid, it starts off quiet. You just hear the birds. They drive up. Nothing's happening. They're getting out. They're going in their yard. Nothing is happening. The camera is just doing slow little pans across the room as Beth is walking in the house. She's starting to just turn on lights. Everything is just calm for like 30, 45 seconds. So you know something is happening, just like a horror movie. The tension is there, the suspense is there, and then you just hear the boiling, and then almost like the water like spewing out of it, or almost like a whistle.
Percolating.
The percolating. And the camera, is getting Beth walking to the pot as the little girl is running to the cage simultaneously. So you know what's about to happen. So it's not a surprise. You just are waiting for it to finally reveal itself.
Yeah.
Done, yeah.
Yes, and you're like, no, please no. She's running to the. What did they do to this poor bunny? Oh my God, it's a boiling pot. No, please no, please no.
Like,
Thank God it wasn't Quincy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was done
geez.
really well.
God. Yeah. Boy,
Well,
that.
that scene, I think, starts with Quincy, like, laying on the floor. Like, he looks like he's been poisoned or dead. Like, he's probably just sleeping. But I was like, Quincy, no! Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah. So that one, the end of it right there is great because now, oh shit has hit the fan.
well, she's done a tiny murder. She's escalated. She's another rung up on the creepy
Yeah.
stalker ladder.
We thought we had hit a threshold the first time, but oh boy, we were wrong. Now we have animal murder.
And now the Beth has witnessed it, so now she has questions. What's she gonna say?
Which is why he's like, we need to talk.
Yeah, because there's nothing. He cannot keep it from her anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's like shit.
There's no way to explain the presence of this other than the truth. There's just no plausible story for this. And again, great symbolism. Alex's element, disturbed water, has manifested in
the boiling
in his home, but also in his home life. You know, like her presence is now in his life in a way that it's not just her body, it's her element. It's actually more essential. Even. Like in a like. Yeah, just almost metaphysically, she's now present.
Yeah. And then the next scene is raining.
Yeah, again, turbulent water again. Yeah,
raining. He reveals he had an affair with Alex to Beth, and Beth is kind of like, "Do you love her? Like, is this still happening?" And he's like, "I'm definitely not in love with her." And Beth rightfully asks why this was revealed now and what it has to do with the murder rabbit situation. Like, she's like, "Cool story. What the fuck just happened in my kitchen?"
Yeah, and again, another great moment of symbolism. It's Alex and Beth together in that room. The door's open and the storm is outside, and so inside versus outside, and with the thinnest barrier possible now, because there's basically no barrier now. Outside is inside. Mm-hmm. The storm has made its way in, and so just visually, just beautiful.
So he goes and closes the door, and this is, of course, the moment that everyone in the audience is like, okay, how are they going to say it? How is he going to tell her? And it's really interesting because the more I've watched the movie, even today, even though I've seen it, since it came out in '87, when he tells her, and she says, did you call the police? And he says no, and she says, why not? And he says, we have to talk. And then he says, I know who did this. And she says, okay, you're scaring me, because that's all he says. And just that line of her saying, you're scaring me, just like really hit me, because I thought, yeah, she's really scared. And she's saying it with a little smile because she's nervous. And then, he says, you remember that woman that came over? And she says, the one with the blonde hair. He doesn't say anything else. She just kind of sits there and gathers, from all the options. Yeah. And then she's like, did you have an affair with her? And he's like, yes. Because at that moment, he doesn't hesitate.
Show me having an affair.
Yeah. He does not hesitate, because at that moment, he's thinking, my family could die. This woman is crazy. So this is the easy part, telling her, yes, I had an affair, because there's so much more I have to tell you. So the moment when he just says yes, she stops. She doesn't go crazy. As a kid, I thought, oh, she's going to go nuts. But no, she doesn't. Because as an adult now, I'm thinking, she thinks he's leaving her. So when he says, yes, blonde woman, she kind of cowers down and looks down, and she says, are you in love with her? And then when he says, no, it was just a one-night thing. So then she's a little relieved. And then what does that have to do with everything? And then he says she's pregnant. Right. That's when it sets her off. And she's like, oh, crap, because that means...
Get the fuck out of my house.
Exactly. Yeah, so they're yelling and screaming. And then it gets me teary-eyed every time, because that little kid can act. Because when that kid...
You want to hear why this happened? So the child clutching the little stuffed unicorn or whatever she's got there, we are shown in the movie that is the child's reaction to the parents fighting, to Beth telling Dan to get the fuck out of the house, blah, 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 whatever. In real life,
Yes.
the director was bullying the child and yelling at her, saying he was going to steal that stuffed animal and destroy it, which is why the child is clutching the stuffed animal and crying and is very upset.
God.
He wrung that performance out of the child.
Wow. And then I hope he said, "I'm kidding."
Well, this child's audition was actually done in part because this child was like, I'm shocked I got this, and like, I don't know what happened. And they were like, how did you audition for this movie? And they were like, well, I had my stuffed animal here, and they took it from me, and they threw it in the trash, and they said it was gone forever. And they were in her little interview, in her videotape. It's like, you could just see my lip quivering and my eyes crying, and I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Israel, why are you directors such scumbags?
I know. Directors are terrible.
Why are directors the absolute
We're awful.
absolute worst?
Wow.
I mean, God, we were talking about this with the Mummy. Jeez, what Brendan Fraser was put through. God damn.
Brendan Fraser nearly died from hanging himself.
Yeah.
The Mummy's director took out kidnapping insurance on the whole cast without telling them because they were in dangerous territory.
Oh my God.
Man,
Wow.
God, directors are just sacks of
I have
shit.
to say, it made the scene work.
But that made that child act perfectly.
Wow.
Well,
that was.
you can't make an omelet without traumatizing a child for life. So there you go.
Wow.
Steal that unicorn.
I'm gonna rip
I'm gonna
this
fucking
fucking
kill this unicorn. And action. Yeah. Ooh.
Wow. But it's a very effective scene.
Wow.
So I was kind of tickled to find that out when I was like,
Wow. I never knew that.
That's
Never knew that. Thank you, Kyle.
now whenever you're like, what a great acting job that child's done. Know that the terror is real.
Yeah.
Aw.
So
You really brought us down, Kyle.
we're
Wow,
gonna dig out
jeez.
of this hole here. So Dan reveals Alex is pregnant. Beth tells him to get the fuck out. Genderless child cries as they fight and packs it back and goes to stay at the hotel, presumably. And he kind of looks in on the child and is like, my life, the thing I could have, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
And the poor little girl's asleep.
Yeah, she's
It's
looking just
aw.
terribly cute. And so, he
Yeah.
leaves, though. He goes to the hotel, and the next day, Dan calls Alex and tells her it's over, and that Beth knows, though. I don't know if Beth's at the hotel or where this happened. It's some sort of neutral ground, seemingly something. But
Yeah, no, I think it happened immediately before he leaves.
Yeah.
no, it was daytime in this, though. It was nighttime when he was left, and so it seems like there was a separation of at least the nighttime to me.
Yeah, it seemed a little ambiguous. I don't know if he was just back at the house or still
And
there.
later, I
Yeah,
have it noted down in the scene where it's just Beth and the daughter at the home, where I don't think she's quite welcomed him back yet. So that's why I don't know where it took place. But essentially, it is Dan and Beth calling Alex to be like, hey, she knows you have no leverage over me.
Yeah.
And this is where, and Jesus Christ, this is the first time on record I have Beth's name being said out loud.
Yeah.
And the whole movie, mind you.
That makes sense because would this be the first time that Danny calls Alex? Because it's always the other way around. And so is this maybe also the first time?
Well, the only reason I say it's right after the argument is it's been raining. It's during the day. It's raining. Then they have the argument, and then it stopped raining, but Beth is still in her same clothes.
Okay. Yeah. So
that because it wouldn't make sense that she would invite him back just to call her.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm open.
Okay.
To this. So
Yeah.
I
think
that makes sense.
because it's an odd they're together, and then obviously he's not welcome in the house type situation.
Yeah, no, he called her there, which is a great scene because it's all about the women, and you're rooting for Beth now. She's becoming more important.
Well, that's what this whole scene is, and I have a lot to say about this at the end that I will, if you know about it, cool. If not, I'll rug pull you over. But essentially, this got a lot of applause from audiences whenever Beth gets the phone and says, this is Beth Gallagher. Again, first time her name is said the fuck out loud in the whole movie. And she goes, if you ever come near my family again, I'll kill you, you understand?
And then just hangs up.
Like, oh my God,
Yes. Yeah, she's fighting for her family.
And
This
so,
bitch is mad.
Go off, girl. I have written down. But this blonde Ringo having hussy is trying to steal your man and waking you up at 2 a.m. with weird phone calls. Fuck her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still sad though, and has not let Dan back in the house fully.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up part 2 of our review of Fatal Attraction. Such an incredible film, and we have a lot more to talk about, so stay tuned. We have part 3 coming up.